Hello and welcome to the Golf Course Lawn Show. My name is Ron Henry and I'm here to help answer your lawn care questions. Now, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. Super happy to have you here. The way this works is really simple. On your screen, you will see a chat box. And in that chat box, you can enter your question, concern, comment of the day, and I work through them in the order that they come in. Now, sometimes I have the answer, sometimes I do not. But either way, we have an awesome time talking about lawn care and sometimes life. Well, guys, gals, hopefully all is going well with you guys. It's been a challenging past few days. Where hang on a second, I got to turn one of these off. I'm hearing myself. All right, so there we go. Reclaim host. Yeah. So as far as this week, it's been an interesting one, right? So the folks are in putting in like I guess internet. So they did there were some savagery committed on my lawn here in the past over the past day or so. So I'll be sharing that with you guys here in the live stream here in a second. Hopefully you guys will get a good laugh out of it. Hang on, let me a second. I'm trying to get this all set up here on Zoom for the folks that are in the Lawn Legends group. So let me join that really quickly. Let's see, make sure this works properly. Okay, there we go. Awesome. All right, great. So for anyone in the Lawn Legend groups that is jumping in, feel free to use the Zoom link that I posted in the school group. So you guys, if you have your questions, you want to get them answered live, you can absolutely do so. And if you just feel like just hanging out in your little private club, you can also do that as well too. So however you guys want to do it, I'm happy to oblige. All right. So let's get into it, guys. it's crazy to say, like October's almost over. The lawns are still holding on to some of its color, like the zoysia is still holding to some of its color. But the season is definitely slowing down. It's getting to that time of year when folks move on to things other than lawn care, unfortunately. All right, so let's see what we got in the show this evening. We got Mr. Darren Proctor saying, good evening. What's going on, Darren? Hopefully you're doing well, sir. Thanks so much for taking the time to come hang out and say hello in the live stream. Hopefully your lawn is doing well. We got we got some pictures of some folks from northern Texas out of Oklahoma showing their lawns. So it's gonna be good, man. I'm gonna share some of what they're doing now and some things that you can also do to get your lawn ready for next season. Because even though we are in the fall, we're well into the fall. October's almost over. There are things things you can do now that will really put yourself in a good position for next year. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as we move on. Let me see if we have any questions first, and then we will jump into the main show topic. Darren, I tell Darren it might be a slow show tonight. He says, "Yep, it's all good." And then we have CS. Says, "Good evening, sir. What's going on, CS? Hopefully you're doing well." And then JP jumping in from Central Kansas. He says, "Hey, what's going on, JP? Hopefully you're doing all right." Well, guys, yeah. So like I was saying, the zoysia has gone through quite a journey this year. It started out in early April being put in, and we were at the 6 months mark. The lawn was looking absolutely fabulous. And if you guys are watching or have been watching the content on the channel on YouTube anyway for the last couple of days, they're putting internet in, and they were slowly making their way around, and they finally got to my lawn. So yesterday we had a little pep talk, we had a little chat. I said, "Listen, guys, look, I'm not a difficult person. I'm a reasonable man. If you look at my lawn, you can tell there's a lot of love that goes into creating this. So if you guys would not mind, please take extra care. And because you guys may not know what that means, I'll be out here like tomorrow morning when you guys come out here and come dig up my lawn. I'll actually come out and I'll show you like where the irrigation lines are, where my internet line is. Because if you guys cut that, I'm not gonna be able to do the live stream tonight. So please take extra care. Not that you're gonna take care on the other lawns, but please, as you can tell, I care a whole lot about this. Don't mess it up. And I have to admit, even though I'd be better if nothing had happened at all, they did, a reasonably decent job. So this is what the lawn looked like. Oh, it hurt so bad. Even just reliving this. This is what it looked like this morning, just before 8 o'clock in the morning. You can tell they put tarps down. Now they did this for all the other lawns, but I told them, listen, guys, make sure I don't want like a bunch of dirt all over the place. So they put tarps down. They did their excavation. They cut the sod nice and thick, to try and preserve as much root as they can. And you can see the chunks there. And we'll actually show you here on video what we're dealing with. So you can see this is bright and early in the morning. What's kind of cool, guys, is this lawn, again, only 6 months old. You can take a look at the soil profile. Here I'm showing you guys how thick the zoysia is. And then if you look at the actual profile, you can see that's like a good 2-3 inches, maybe 4 in some spots of not rich topsoil. So that's all the Soil 3 compost that we put down along with the carbonized PN G program that we've been putting down. And then also, if you look over here, the Bermuda also was not spared. Same thing. You can see it's the darkness in its soil profile is a little bit thicker, but they did overall a reasonably good job getting the sod out, digging their trenches without causing too much damage. I mean, it wasn't great, but I mean, hey, overall, you take something bad and make it less bad. So as we moved on, story time, when they finished putting it all back together, one cool thing they did is they did have a machine that as they were filling the hole, they compacted the soil to make sure they didn't stand up too much. And then I had them also make sure they tamped down the sod really, really well. I watered it, I rolled over it, and this is what it's looking like after the fact. So actually, no, that's not true. This is the picture of another close-up of it. This is, where's the after? I think this is my after. Yeah. So this is the after. Running irrigation. You can see there that it's, again, you can tell something was done, but it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. It's going to probably need a light top dress. It's going to need a light top dress at some point, but I mean, you know, I mean, all things considered, not as bad as it could have been. And again, this is another shot showing it, showing the after of where we ended up. Again, you know, you can definitely make out that something was done to it, but overall, to go from that, which, you know, I may or may not have shed a tear. You know, I'm not ashamed enough to say that a grown man will cry. To go from that to that, I mean, again, as far as the only thing that would have been better is for nothing at all to have been done, right? So it's done, it's over. I've watered the lawn several times. I've, you know, stamped it down, walked, and again, we'll see. It's probably gonna take a light top dress around that area to get it back to where it needs to be, but hey, such is life. It moves on. All right. To see here, we have Cooper saying, "Good evening. What's going on, Cooper? Thanks for stopping by to say hello." And then Sheldon says, "My condolences on your front lawn." I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I mean, it's on the mend. It's trying to recover right now, but it was a moment. It's funny, you know. It's funny how many people in the neighborhood were just waiting to see when they got to my lawn. Like when I went by yesterday when they were doing someone else's and I was talking to them, like one guy stopped and said, "Yeah, Ron, make sure they don't mess up your lawn too badly." Even the UPS guy, he made a joke. He said, "Hey man, they're coming for you. You know, you got like another day, maybe two, but they're making their way around." And today was the day. They literally, here's the bad part, right? I had like all night to think about it because they literally did. I'm just gonna go back to the picture. You guys can see it here. So you see where the guy is in the background there at like 3 o'clock in the picture. So they did all the lawns down the street and they stopped there last night. So like literally I thought, okay, they're gonna get this done. I'm gonna have it over with. It's gonna be finished yesterday, but no, they stopped right before me. So I had like literally all evening, all last night, all this morning to think about it. Didn't sleep all that great. I'm thinking, man, you know what? I mean, of course, they do it in October, so there's not a whole lot of time. If it gets messed up for the zoysia to really recover. So yeah. But good thing I guess is they came in first thing in the morning. They were fresh, and I was a mild pain in the butt, but overall it turned out okay. I mean, to go from that to that, I guess life goes on, right? It'll just gives me something else to talk about, right? Gives me more content. All right. You says, "I'm up north and I would like to get an idea of how low I need to cut the grass. I have a, I guess you have a blend," is what you're saying. Go here, Sheldon, for your other one. He says, "I live in the Northeast and I have been on top of my winter prep, nitrogen, potassium. I'm torn on how tall I should keep the grass going into the winter season, and mulching practices help." Yeah, so what kind of, it'd be interesting to know what kind of grass you have, Sheldon. I am not a huge fan of making drastic height of cut changes to the lawns as you go into the winter months. The only lawn where you might want to cut it a bit lower on the, how can I explain this properly? Take like a fescue, like tall fescue, right? Like it has an acceptable range, 3 inches on the low end to as high as you want to cut it. Going into the winter months, or going into when you're going to get, if you're going to get snow on the ground, at least where you live, if you want to get it closer to like that 3.5 inch range, like it's gonna reduce it getting matted down, and can help reduce the kind of likelihood you have like disease issues in the lawn, like snow moles and that type of thing. Outside of that, I really wouldn't make any major height of cut changes. Like where you've been running it all season, if the lawn looks good there, we're about to go into a time where the lawn is going to see more stress as it gets a lot colder and it's going to get snowed on and all this type of thing. We don't really need to also introduce, a drastic height of cut change, weeks just before that. So if it's been looking good, you may just leave it where it is. The only exception I said, again, would be like if you had a fescue lawn and you're growing it really tall, say north of 5 inches, you might want to step that down just a little bit, a touch, before it gets snow covered. It's going to do some things to help reduce your chances of you having disease issues in the lawn. It sounds like you're doing a lot of things. You're mowing, you're feeding it some nitrogen, hopefully not too much, doing some potassium. That's also good. And then as far as mulching, whatever you've been doing all year, you can continue to do. Like if you've been bagging it all season, you can do that. If you've been mulching it all season, you can do that. I mean, mulching in itself is not really it's not gonna contribute to really materially to thatch or to causing problems if you're mowing your lawn regularly. And I imagine if you're on a live stream on a Friday night talking about lawn care, that you're probably someone that takes their lawn pretty seriously. So if that's you, again, whatever mowing program you've had, I would just stick with that. I wouldn't see the need to make any major changes, this time of year going in the winter. So the only other thing I didn't see you mentioned fertilizer. It seems like you keep up your mowing. The only thing I would also consider doing is a fungicide app, like a preventative fungicide app. I will share with you what I have used on my lawn with excellent results. If you go to the golf course lawn store, you go to shop and go to fungicide insecticide. Um, Either one of these will work. If you prefer liquids, Pillar SC is a great choice. If you prefer granular, Headway G is a good choice. This is the only other thing that I would do outside of what you're already talking about. A good fungicide application. This is in line with our lawn care schedule that we share for free on the golf course lawn storage. So you'll see in the month of Octubre, you see that we recommend a fungicide app preventatively, and then in November next month, which is only a week and change away, you would do another one. Again, this is purely preventative in nature. The whole idea is to get ahead of any potential issues that you may have in your lawn with disease. But yeah, outside of that, man, you're good to go. Don't overdo it on the nitrogen. That's what I would tell you. Just don't try and push a bunch of growth. You going with a I'll share with you a good fertilizer that I've used for a few years and have had excellent results with. Not just me, other folks have had excellent results with it. If you go to shop lawn fertilizer, our 12024, this is a great choice to close out the season. Again, it's relatively low nitrogen, only 12%, and higher in potassium, which is what you want this time of year to help the lawn, again, manage the change in temperature, just help it manage that stress a little bit better as it's about to slow down in growth and go to bed for the winter. All right. So hope that helps, Sheldon. Great question. And again, this is the fertilizer I was telling you about. And this is the schedule. Yeah, and as far as the live stream, you mentioned it's Thursday night. Yeah, tomorrow I have a martial arts event that I have to help work at. So because of that commitment, happens a couple times a year. I figured we could do no live stream, or we could do it tonight. So we're gonna do it tonight. So yeah. And again, here's the calendar, Sheldon, in case you're also interested in it. All right. Okay. Next up is Don Hatley. He says, "What in the world are they doing to your lawns?" Not just my lawn, man. They've been hitting every lawn in the neighborhood. So I guess they're putting in, and I guess another internet service provider. I'm really happy with the one we have. AT&T fiber is pretty good. You get a actual, it's not just marketing, it's actually truly fast in both directions. But I guess competition's a thing, so they had to come in and dig up everyone's lawn to put lines in. So yeah, that's why it happened. Not just me, everyone else. I'm not switching providers. I really like what I have now. I mean, whenever AT&T gets something that's even faster, or whenever they upgrade my area to where I can get even a faster level of service with them, I'll do that. But I'm not switching away from that because it's great. For someone that does a lot of uploading, it's an awesome connection. All right. Okay. Next up, we have JP. Has a question. He says, does fungicide need to be watered in? Generally, yes. Yes, JP. In general, yes, you do want to water fungicide in. There are some diseases that if it's it's more of a leaf disease and it's a good example, like a fairy ring. If you look at the label for a lot of fungicides, they will tell you to spray the affected area and just let it sit on the leaf, to sit on the lawn. Not you don't necessarily have to water it in, but in general, for your brown patch, large patch, the rusts, pretty much all of them, unless on the instructions, unless in the label it specifically says to not water it in, you do. So that's why in general, whenever anyone asks me, do I need to water my fungicide in, I just say yes, because in most cases you do. All right. So hope that helps, sir. All right. Next up, we have Chris H. Chris H has entered the chat. He says, at Ron Henry, just sent you photos of lawn discussed 2 weeks ago, 2 mile radius. Okay, so you're saying you're the best lawn on a 2 mile radius? We shall see about that. It's a big claim, sir. Let's look here really quickly, see what you're working with. I mean, it's a big claim to say you're best lawn on 2 mile radius. Even I, who think that my lawn looks pretty good, even I don't know that I can make that claim. So let's see here. But again, Georgia, man, folks take their lawns pretty seriously, or at least the ones that do really do. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, not bad. I can see that, man. All right, Chris, let's see what you're working with here. He says, best lawn, finest lawn in a 2-mile radius. So let us see. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's clean. That's clean. Nice mowing. I like the fact, you see, you know what? This is a man that is responsible with his Halloween decorations. You see he's got his pumpkins and all this other stuff, but he's got it in the mulch beds, not on the lawn. I like that. I like that. I see where you are. I know it's a subtle thing, but it shows that, you know, grass is number one. We can make our decorations, but we don't want to do anything to damage the lawn in the process. So overall, looks good, man. Color looks great. We got a little close up here. Solid. You know, and you know what, Chris, I haven't seen the other lawns in your area, but here's where I'll have to give you top marks. Overall, not only does the color look good, the stripes look nice, the edge work is also on point. So you didn't neglect the details. So I can't say for sure you're the best in 2 miles, but overall, quite good. I'll tell you, your fescue looks better than the fescue around here. I'll say that. So how about that? That's something. All right. So great work, sir. Thanks for sending the pictures in. I appreciate you sending me, sharing your pictures of your lawn with the rest of the team. Everyone here on the live stream. On the subject of amazing lawn, so we saw a beautiful, looks like a fescue lawn, and now we can take a look at Bermuda grass. We're gonna look at a couple examples of Bermuda grass. Oliver, who you guys remember, who got the new, I guess it's not the 1600, it's like the 2000 series. It's like the new Greensmaster, the new hotness. Absolutely gorgeous piece of equipment. So he showed what he's working with. This was his mow, I think he said yesterday evening. And of course, you got to show the equipment doing the work. Overall, looks awesome. And then picture one and picture next. Overall, quite nice. The Toro's almost like a watermark. You know, it's funny. He puts the Greensmaster in every picture. You know, almost like when people like photographers or artists will either sign their art or they'll watermark the image to be like, hey, you know, don't let any other mower take credit for this. This is all me. This is all me. Look at my handiwork. So I like it, Oliver. I dig it. Greensmaster is representing to let us all know that it is the one that is laying those mean stripes. Dude, that looks incredible, man. Awesome work. Lawn looks awesome. You do a great job with it. Really nice. Really nice. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Michael Walker. He says, should I wait until April for Caravan G or should I be doing something else? It depends. I mean, it's kind of unlikely you have insect damage or grub damage this time of year. I mean, it could be a thing where you are, but kind of unlikely. So Caravan, I am a huge fan of Caravan in two cases. One, if you're on a budget and you want a combination insecticide and fungicide and your primary insect that you're trying to keep away is, trying to manage in your lawn are grubs, then Caravan is an excellent choice. So if you are someone that has issues with grubs in your lawn this time of year, again, kind of unlikely, but if you did, and you also wanted to apply a fungicide, I think azoxystrobin is what's in Caravan, then yeah, it's a great choice. The way that I recommend that most people use it is in the springtime. And this is reflected again in our calendar on the store. And I'll explain why again, there's different ways of using this. I'll explain the method to my madness of why I say springtime is when most people tend to use it and when I like it more so. All right. So in, where are we? Here, so we're in April. Where are we? Yep. So so May, whenever we recommend our fungicide application, in May, we say, you can also do Caravan G instead of Headway G and Acelepryn. So really the best way, in my opinion, to manage insects in your lawn and also manage disease are to use Acelepryn and to use Headway. And the reason why is because Acelepryn covers a lot more lawn damaging insects than Caravan does. So it does your grubs, also does the turf caterpillars, so like your sod webworms, armyworms. It does all of them. And from an environmental standpoint, it's also it's a more environmentally friendly. The active ingredient in it, chlorantraniliprole, is more environmentally friendly than what's in Caravan. Not saying that what's in Caravan is bad, but there's a lot to like Acelepryn literally checks all the boxes. Great residual, controls all the bugs that you want and then doesn't get rid of the ones that you really don't want. So like as far as harming earthworms and pollinators, a Celoprint is better in that case. However, if you decide, you know what, my budget just says I'm gonna get one and I want to be able to combine them, then Caravan, which has, again, azoxystrobin in it, and I forget the name of the, it starts with a T, the name of the insecticide that's in Caravan. You could use that in May as your initial spring fungicide app and your grub control, and then you would do just Headway for June. So that's how most folks use it. But again, if you have an issue in your lawn now with insect damage and you're looking to kind of check 2 boxes, then Caravan would be a good choice. All right. What I would tell you, Michael, if it were me, what I would do is I would do Headway this time of year. This is what I did on my lawn. So Headway G, that's what I did this time of year because I did my insect control in August, early August, late July, early August was when I did it. So the only thing I'm really trying to control now is preventive disease control, which is what Headway is excellent at. All right. So if all you need is a fungicide, do not use Caravan because it's an insecticide and fungicide. You don't really need to be putting down insecticide if you don't really need it. So the use case for Caravan is more. It's more niche in the sense that you're looking to control both grubs and also certain lawn diseases. All right. So hope that helps. I know it's a long answer to your question, but hey, it's a Thursday night and it's going to be a slow night, so we can jab around a little bit more, give you a nice detailed response. All right. So hope that helps, sir. Okay. Next up we have. JP, do you spray fungicide? What nozzle do you use? Yes, I do. So when I do decide to go liquids, the fungicide I will use is Pillar SC, this one right here. And then as far as the spray nozzle, I use the Flood Jet, which I should have one. Here we go. Got one right here. This guy right here. This is the nozzle that I use. You can tell, like, compared to this one, which is affectionately known as the red spray nozzle because it's red. This one produces a finer droplet, which is for your plant growth regulator, liquid fertilizers, most post-emergent herbicides. This guy, the Flood Jet tip, you see it's got a big wide notch there. That's going to do a better job putting out large droplets, which makes it more appropriate for your insecticide apps, your fungicide apps, your pre-emergent. That is when this would come out. So this guy comes out a couple times a year to make its appearance. This is the one that pretty much, well, not this one. I have one that lives on my sprayer. This is just I have an example for the show. But one just like this lives pretty much on my sprayer most of the season because I'm out there spraying every couple of weeks with my spoon feeding program. All right, JP, so hope that helps, sir. So you know which one to use and when. And the next question you're probably going to ask me is, where can I get it? I don't know where to get it. You just showed it to me, but I don't know where to get it. So I'm going to help you with that too. So here you go, JP. This is where you can get the Flood Jet nozzle. And then this is where you can get the foliar. Where is it? There we go. The foliar spray tip, the foliar nozzle. All right. So you're all set, sir. Go forth and spray. All right. Next up, we have Chris Hoonigan. I think I said that correctly. He says, temps in Chicago area are mid-50s and go as low as the 40s. I have granular mixed with 703, Milo, and Ironite 101. I normally mow at 3.5 inches. Should I go to 3 inches and throw down with fertilizer? Yeah, I mean, it's not like 3.5 to 3 inches. Yes, if you want to take it down a little bit lower, you can. I mean, that's not a huge high to cut change. Yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine. You're not going to be putting a ton of nitrogen in the soil with that combination. I'll be honest with you, Chris. I mean, again, you've already got your program worked out. If it were me, I would want to put out a granular fertilizer that's a bit higher in potassium. But I mean, if you got your program, maybe you've used this before in the past and it's worked well for you. If so, go forth and do it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, as far as changing the how to cut, again, 3.5 to 3 inches, it's not really material. You can do that. There's not really going to be a problem with that. All right. So hope that helps. Chris says, thanks. You are very, very welcome, sir. We know how much you've slaved away. You've worked to create this, the edging and everything. And we have to show all of America the fruits of your labor. All right. Okay. Next up, we have, so he's in Indianapolis. Next up, we have Ryan. And he says, hey, Ron, sprayed recognition and fusillade combination on my St. Augustine laid down here in Florida. Patiently waiting for that pesky Bermuda to succumb. Does that combo do anything to crabgrass or doveweed? Okay, so doveweed, I'm not sure, and crabgrass, it's the results are going to be less, not going to be great, and here's why, Ryan. So I actually spoke to the to my Syngenta rep about it. I said, hey, this is kind of cool. We have like another way of controlling crabgrass in St. Augustine because Fusilade 2, one of the weeds that it's labeled to control is crabgrass. But he said, he says the challenge is whenever you mix Fusilade 2 with recognition, which you have to do, like don't spray Fusilade 2 on your St. Augustine without mixing with recognition. The safener that's in recognition, metcamephin, that makes Fusilade 2 safe for St. Augustine, also reduces the effectiveness of it against crabgrass, because crabgrass and I mean, again, folks with St. Augustine lawns, do not send me hate mail, because crabgrass and St. Augustine, they kind of like, I'll be this way. The same herbicide that kills crabgrass will also kill St. Augustine. So just say that we'll just say that on some level they're kind of related. That's why if you're doing that combination of recognition and Fusilade, you're going to have marginal results controlling crabgrass in the St. Augustine lawn. You'd think so by the label, but not so much. So that again, that's really a specialty product, really designed for removing Bermuda grass out of St. Augustine or zoysia. Now, as far as other weeds, like recognition is labeled to control some of your sedges, so it can do that. It's a more expensive way to control sedges, but like those weeds you will get control over, but like your crabgrass, it's not going to be great as far as Fusilade 2 goes. Now, as far as the timing, it's going to take some time. It is slower. It's a slower working herbicide, especially this time of year. Like when I used it on my zoysia, which again was installed in April, and I want to say I sprayed about a month afterwards, 6 weeks afterwards. So that would put it like the middle of May, and the zoysia tolerated it just fine. And because I sprayed at a time of year when Bermuda was actively growing, like usually in the month of May in Georgia, like Bermuda is really beginning to light off and grow aggressively, the results came faster. So in this case, remember, we're treating Bermuda grass, as much as it pains me to say it, we're treating it like a weed. So whenever the conditions are such that that weed, in this case Bermuda grass, is actively growing, the herbicide is going to be taken up faster. You're going to get faster results with it. So you're likely still going to get results. It's just going to take a little bit longer. In my case, when I sprayed recognition and Fusilade in May, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, the Bermuda grass was really browned up nicely. Zoysia looked absolutely great. You're spraying in October. Granted, you're in Florida, but it's still cooler. And again, Bermuda, the thing is, Bermuda is just not growing that fastest time of year. It's going to work. It's just going to be a lot slower. So I would say that just set your expectations that way. Worst case, you've got the product. So if you want to also hit it again in the springtime, you absolutely can. I would look at recognition and Fusilade as a way to manage Bermuda grass in your lawn, more so as a way you're going to spray it one time and it's gone. And especially in St. Augustine. In zoysia, you may find that zoysia does a better job competing with Bermuda grass because it gets so thick, but St. Augustine, not so much. So even if you get some control this time of year, I would still plan for in the spring, April, early May timeframe, to go out there and do an application. And again, that's going to do a really good job cleaning up that Bermuda grass. All right. So hope that helps, Ryan. Great question. And, what you are seeing is what you're experiencing is what you should be experiencing given the time of year. And as far as crabgrass control, from Fusilade 2 in a St. Augustine lawn when mixed with recognition, which is the only way we really need to be using it on St. Augustine, it's not going to be as good as you're expecting, because again, metcamephin, the safener in it, also allows crabgrass to live its best life when sprayed with Fusilade. All right. Michael Walker's up next. He says, I'm putting down Stress Blend November 4th and 5th. I like it. It's good. It's a good call, man. Great call. I like that. And then next up we have, let me move over here so I can see where I am. Next up we have Sheldon. He says, now all we need to do is lower the risk of lawn damage from Halloween visitors. I don't plan on mowing the week before Halloween. Just all you have to do is just turn the light off. If you don't have your porch light on, isn't that the universal sign for Halloween? Like, hey, I'm not giving out candy. So if you just turn your porch light off, I think in most neighborhoods, they don't really come by. And I mean, if they don't, I would hope that in your neighborhood, your area, they don't just walk on people's lawns. I mean, that just shows a lack of home training. Like, you just don't walk on people's lawns, especially if it looks like a lawn that, they actually care about. First, a lot, if your lawn is all like overgrown, you may get more people walking on it. But if you're taking care of it, people are less likely to walk on it. I mean, they touch it, but I doubt they're really gonna, take it as the shortcut. So I don't know, Sheldon, of if your plan of not mowing the week before is going to work well, is going to have the desired result that you're thinking. I think it may cause the opposite. So I would just do like, manicure, keep it really nice. Maybe go out and get you some like, please keep off the lawn signs. Just put a couple of those in there. Yes, I know you shouldn't have to, but sometimes being right isn't always the right thing, so just just put some signs out and then they'll stay off your lawn, hopefully. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'm not going to take it. I mean, what I tend to do is my lawn's a slope, so they don't walk up it. If they come up to the front porch, they will walk around the driveway. But again, if your lawn looks like this, well, not like that, but like, imagine it like in a world where internet service providers are not like wrecking people's lawns to put in piping or whatever. If your lawn looks like that, I mean, if it were me, I would be far less likely to walk on a lawn that looks like that than one that doesn't. I definitely touch it. I may like touch it with my foot, get down and touch it with my hand, see if it's real or not. But as far as like just using it as a shortcut to the front door, again, I think that just point to a lack of home training. And in many ways, you would have forfeited your right to any Halloween candy if you do that. I mean, it just shows like blatant disrespect. Like, I mean, if I were in Oliver's neighborhood and I were trick-or-treating and I saw that a lawn looks like that, I am not going to think that is like the shortcut to his front door. I would think that most people would not think that. But I mean, if you do, no candy for you. Okay. Next up is Chris H. Says, I use Caravan G. Cool. That works. And then next up is Michael. He says, I already bought the Caravan. Yeah, dude, if you already got it, use it. I mean, you already got it, go with it, roll with it. But for next year, it just gives you some things to think about. All right, next up we have Michael Coulthard. He says, evening, Ron. I think my original message did not go through. Okay. A question on scalping. Can I just creep up on the scalp using the reel mower without damaging it? Okay, I think what you're asking me is if you are looking to lower the height of cut and you are going to do it like in stages, you're going to bring it down a little bit at a time. Yes, you can do that, but the challenge you may run into is unless your lawn is relatively flat, relatively smooth, you are going to reach a point somewhere whenever you're mowing where you're going to be cutting grass. It's going to be like a high spot or a low spot, and then you're going to dip in, and it's going to scalp, and the reel and bed knife are going to get into the dirt. So it depends on how aggressive of a scalp you're doing, is what I would say. It's like two things: how smooth your lawn is and how aggressive you're going to get with scalping it. If it were me, man, I'm not taking a fresh, brand new reel mower and using it to scalp. I mean, if you can do that, but I mean, I would just plan for having to get it sharpened afterwards. You know what I mean? No, but if by scalping you say, hey, listen, my lawn's at an inch, right? Or an inch and a quarter. And I want to take it down to say 3 1/4 inches. And in the past, your lawn has been at 3/4 of an inch. I said 3 1/4 has been at 3/4 of an inch, 0.75 inches. And there's been no issues whatsoever. Then sure, going from an inch and a quarter to 3/4 of an inch, that's not going to really be an issue. That's not going to really cause undue wear or to the mower where you have to go out and run out and get it sharpened. It's more so when you're getting really aggressive, like you see how some folks do, to like take it down to the dirt, like when you're scalping at heights of cut lower than 1/2 inch is when you're very likely to run into, get into issues. So hope that helps, sir. It's up to you. It's ultimately your call. But for me, I would not use a brand new reel mower anyway to scalp a lawn again, unless you're fine with sending it out to get it sharpened afterwards. It's not going to damage the mower. It's not like you could do anything permanent to it. But like, it's kind of unlikely that you're going to be able to scalp aggressively and then use that mower throughout the rest of the season without having to get it sharpened. So just one thing to have to consider. All right, Scott Smith is in the live stream. He says, good evening. I'm late. Hey, man, no worries. It's Thursday night. It's probably going to be a short show tonight because it's the fall, and I'm doing it on the wrong night. But it's better than not doing anything at all, right? Right. Okay. Next up, we got Mr. Andre Taylor. He says, "What's up, Ron? Happy Thursday. Hope they put back your turf how they saw it, pristine." I mean, it's not pristine, but it's as good as it's going to get. I mean, this is what it looks like afterwards, after the fact. Let me see if I can. I think I got an actual still picture here. I think I do. Do I? Yeah, I do. So this is an actual picture of what we're looking like afterwards. Yes, I ran several irrigation cycles because, you know, I had to you know, make it right. I had to make it right. My lawn did give me some side eye saying like, how could you let this happen? How could you, you know, we've come so far, you know, from April to now, and you just let them just assault me like this. And yeah, not a whole lot I could say. So just put some water on it. But it'll be all right. Overall, it came out well. A lot of people again were looking to see how it was going to happen again. I was not going to leave it to chance. We had a conversation yesterday. We had a conversation this morning. We had a conversation during, and then even afterwards, he says, "Hey, is everything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. I mean, it's as good as it's going to be." So, only thing would have been better if you guys had not done anything at all. But given that that's not really an option, it is what it is, right? So yeah. All right, so, you know, speaking about lawns, I'm not sure if Robert Rainey is going to grace us with his presence tonight, but Robert wanted to share a picture of his Bermuda rye. Bermuda is not giving up the fight in his area. So, you know, he overseeded his Bermuda lawn with ryegrass, and this is what it looks like. I think picture was taken yesterday. That's a blend of ryegrass and Bermuda. According to Robert, there's more Bermuda in there than there is ryegrass. It has not gone as cool as fast as he was hoping where he is. So the Bermuda was like, hold my bear. I'm going to fight back. I don't want this ryegrass taking me over. So for late October at that, not bad. Not bad. Some might even say best lawn within a 2-mile radius. But with Robert, we'd expect nothing less. Okay. Next up, we have Scott Smith. He said, "I got my first mow in with the new Scott's reel mower, and my lawn is so ugly and beautiful at the same time." Yes, you know, that's what I tell folks. The first time you mow your lawn with a reel mower, it's more than likely going to look worse than it did before because you got to kind of train the lawn. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Having said that, even though you'll see maybe some scalping, some discoloration here and there, once you get through that first couple of weeks of mowing, normally at the 2-week mark, it starts to really come together and start looking nice. And, you know, to your point, even though you may have some discoloration, the evenness of the cut, you just really can't, really can't beat a reel mower. Really cannot beat a reel mower. If you have a grass type like that's designed or that benefits from lower heights of cut, and you've got the time to do it, reel mowing is one of the best things you can do for your lawn. I tell folks that all the time. You know, you can use the best fertilizers, best nutrient program. All that is definitely going to give you that X factor. It's definitely going to put you, you know, above to give you a notch up. But mowing is the thing that really brings it all together. You know, if you look at, I mean, again, I'm show it again because I've just got it here. If you look at, like, we'll show Robert's lawn or even Oliver's lawn. Does Oliver have a great nutrient program? Yes. Does Robert have a great nutrient program? Absolutely. But the thing that you see that draws your eye to it are the stripes, the depth of the color, like that manicured look. And none of that is available in a bottle. You have to do it through mowing, through your practices. So great stuff. All right. Next up is Ebony281. He says, "Hey, Ron, I'm in South Texas. Should I stick to your calendar as for feeding or just based on temps? My Bermuda is still growing." Yes, if your lawn is still growing, Ebony man, and by that I mean you're mowing it twice a week, so it's still actively growing, you can continue feeding it. So if you want to still use Humic Max 1608, you can continue to do so. What I would say is when you get, or if you get into a time of year when the Bermuda really begins to slow down and it starts getting closer to moving towards dormancy, that is when I would move to something like our 12024, a higher potassium fertilizer. But depending on how south you are in South Texas, that might not be a thing for you, you know? So yeah, the short answer to your question is if it's still actively growing, and by that I say you're mowing it twice a week, you can still feed it. All right, so great question. Glad to hear your lawn is still doing well, still largely in growth mode. Like obviously you and Robert are on the same wavelength. So yeah, man, if it's growing, feed it. Still growing, feed it. Don't, I mean, obviously don't overdo it, but feed it if it's growing. All right. Okay. Next up, it says, anyone know what I can use to get rid of POA that isn't over $100? No, it depends what kind of grass you have, but I mean, the better products to get rid of it are going to be more expensive than that. I mean, they're expensive for a reason, because Poa annua is a difficult weed to control. It's a difficult weed to control selectively, and the products that are more expensive are that cost more will manage Poa annua, will get rid of it while with not damaging your lawn. So the way, if you want to not have to deal with Poa, pre-emergent. Apply pre-emergent. Have a good pre-emergent program. Put out your pre-emergent a bit earlier than later. That's going to drastically reduce the amount of Poa annua you have to deal with, and then you will have to rely on more, to your words, more expensive herbicides like Certainty for warm season turf grass or Velocity PM for cool season turf grass. So the way you can reduce your reliance or need on these is with a good pre-emergent program. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to do pre-emergent, you're going to be dealing with Poa annua and a bunch of other weeds. So it's kind of to kind of pick which way you want to go. And as far as finding like really great options that aren't under, it depends. Again, it depends on the kind of grass you have. The ones that I would recommend are Certainty or Velocity. There's a few others out there, but I prefer these two, mainly because the way you can use them it's better suited for residential lawns than for at least for warm season turf grass. Another one I'm thinking of, like Certainty is a better option. All right. Next up, we have Scott Smith. He says, I bought an edger and gave the lawn its first edging in years. Nice, man. It's gotta get better. Sometimes you gotta get worse before it gets better. So just stick with it. Consistency is one of the most important, if not the most important trait to have for getting a great lawn. So as long as you're being consistent with your mowing, edging, feeding program, pretty tough to not get a great stand of turf grass. All right. All right, Jason Swaby's up next. He says, hey, Ron, it's been rainy in my area for several days, and I want to put down some azoxystrobin. Can I spray in the rain or right after it rains? Thanks, and go Blue Jays. I wouldn't recommend spraying in the rain just for safety reasons. I don't want you to get out there and slip and hurt yourself. But as far as spraying right after rain, or if you spray and it's going to rain right afterwards, that would be fine. I've put out fungicides when rain was literally in the forecast, like it was gonna start coming down. Within 30 minutes of when I got done. So if that's you, yes. So yes, the fungicide needs to be watered in. So if you can put it out right before rainfall is about to come your way, that would be a good thing. As far as doing it while it's still raining, just for safety reasons, I wouldn't really recommend that. You gotta be safe. If you can do it safely, I guess, but I mean, in general, better to not be out on the lawn when it's like actively raining. Your chance of slipping and falling and all this kind of stuff just is a lot higher. But it's ultimately your call. Jason. The fungicide will be fine. If you put it down when it's wet, when it's about to rain, you're good to go. All right. Higgy pops up. What's going on, sir? He says, happy Friday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Have a great show, Ron. Let's all hit the like button for Ron. It's free. It is free, guys. It's going to be a relatively short show tonight because mainly it's late October and it's a Thursday. But next week, we'll be back to our normally scheduled time of Friday night. All right. And I'm trying to think. Pretty much that's going to be, we should be Friday all throughout the rest of the year, maybe until Christmas, till Christmas time. I'm not sure. When is Christmas this year? It's a Thursday. Yeah, so the day after, it'll be Boxing Day, so the day after Christmas. So it should be Friday starting next week should be Friday all throughout the rest of the season. There might be 1 week in December, early December, maybe not, but outside of that, it should be back to our normally scheduled time. All right, Scott Smith says, went ahead and ordered the heavy roller adapter kit for it, and we'll be here tomorrow. Nice, cool. So yeah, you know what, Scott, if you don't mind, when you get that, take a picture of it and email it to me so we can show folks on the live stream what you're talking about. I've not seen, I didn't know there was a heavy roller adapter kit for the manual push mowers. I didn't know that was a thing. So I'd like to check it out. If you can, send it, and we'll show the folks on the live stream what you're working with. And tonight it's just Chick-fil-A lemonade. All right. Actually, you know what? You actually unknown says, is there anything under $100 that gets rid of gets rid of POA? Yes, but you're probably not going to want to spray it on your lawn. Glyphosate will do it. Like you can use glyphosate, but that's non-selective. That's going to damage. It's going to kill the POA. It's also going to damage anything that around it that you get it on. So again, would not recommend that. I would highly recommend like investing in a quality post-emergent herbicide to get rid of POA annua in your lawn. Just like sacrifice something else, save up, do what you got to do. But like get the right product, get the right tool for the job. Unless you care about, unless you don't care about having damage in your lawn. You know, I took a picture of someone that went the glyphosate route to try and get rid of POA annua. I'm gonna see if I can find. I probably should have got this queued up before the show, but there's a picture. I may have showed it before, where someone used glyphosate in their lawn over the fall, at this time of year, over the fall months, to get rid of POA annua, and then come springtime and into early summer, they dealt with a pretty nasty mess on their lawn. I don't have the picture handy. I'll spend like 5 more seconds here looking for it, and if not, we will move on. So I was just driving through the neighborhood, you know, checking out the competition, and I came across this lawn. I was like, ooh, this is a prime example of doing it wrong. Oh, yeah, I found it. Here we go. Oh, so bad. So bad. The horror. Okay, I found them. So, if you decide to go the glyphosate route, which I'm not encouraging you to do, I just want to give you like a, you know, give you an example of what you could be subject to should you go that route. I wouldn't really recommend it, but if you're looking for a cheap way to get rid of POA annua, this is one way to do it. But you're gonna smoke your grass as well. So this is when glyphosate is used to manage POA annua in a Bermuda grass lawn. And mind you, I took this picture actually, I can tell you, I took this picture in May. May 7th is when this picture was taken. So you figure Bermuda in my area really starts waking up in like my lawn, like March, late February, March. So you got March, April, you had like 2 months in and it still hadn't recovered. So you see that smoked, absolutely hating life. And then the next example of using glyphosate to control POA annua is, let's see here, is this guy. Did I post two of the same thing? I did. I posted the same thing twice. Here we go. This is a wider shot of, to show you, to give you a better example of what they did. All right. So I say all that to say is I would highly, highly, highly recommend. So again, this is picture 1, picture 2, picture 1, picture 2. So this is why you should not use glyphosate as, again, not on grass that you care about. Will it kill the weeds? Yes, but it'll also make your lawn look like that. So unless you're okay with that, which most people aren't. And again, this was in May. This was in May and it still looked like that. I just really wouldn't recommend it. All right. Okay, next up is Michael Coulthard. He says, grass is at 2 inches and want to get to 1 inch. Will likely not scalp in the spring. I guess you can. I mean, if you want to go down to 1 inch, that would be fine. You said likely. I mean, so have you ever mowed your lawn at 1 inch? You know for sure that you're not going to scalp at 1 inch. It's up to you. It's up to you. Here's what I might do. I might go like to 1.5 inches and just kind of see how things are looking. And if you see there's any like high or low spots where you might get into some dirt, then you could stop. And if not, you can just slowly just keep going and see where you run into trouble. You will hear it. You will hear it when there's a problem. All right. John Willis says, how's the graveyard in the front lawn? It's better, John. So this is what we started with. This was this morning. And this is where we ended with at, a couple hours before the show. So I was putting some water on it, but you can see from that, again, the Zoysia didn't really talk to me when I put water on it. Didn't even say thank you. Again, there was some mean side eye. And again, I can't, what can I say? I mean, I should have, it's my job to be the protector, right? And I obviously didn't protect it. I did my best, but it was still went through some pain. But from that this morning to that now. So we'll see over the next couple of weeks how it does. I mean, imagine you're going to see a ring around each of the chunks of sod that were cut out. That, you know, where the grass is going to be a little bit dead, but whatever. This too shall pass. It will go on. It will go on. All right, Oliver Ridham is up next. He says, always have to doubt the visitors who come by the lawn. Let's not forget those who drove through my yard earlier this year. That is true. That is true, Oliver. Can I find that from you? I'm not sure if I can search this. I'm not sure if I can find, no. Yeah, you did send me the video of folks driving over your lawn. You're right. Your lawn is special. So in your case, you probably will need signage. You probably will need signage because I mean, in your case, dude, I keep saying that for you, it almost seemed personal, man, because I think it was like a CRV that rolled out over your lawn. Let's see if I can find it here really quickly. But I mean, they literally they went out of their way to drive on it. Let me see. This is when you got, that's when you got the mower. And let me just get this off. Looking absolutely spectacular. Looking gorgeous. And let me see if I can find the video. You guys want to see the video of Oliver's lawn getting driven on? Yeah, I think this is it. All right, so let me get this off. And these are videos with your name on it, so it's got to be these. Okay, so let me see. Yeah. So here we got the truck, right? Man was top dressing his lawn. So the truck guy, I don't know what, he was on pavement and left the pavement for some reason to drive on the grass. No, he's not done yet. He's going back up one more again, drive over the freshly top dressed lawn just because why not? And then this is the one where I think it was a hit. Because look here, they definitely went to the right and then pulled out left. So this was the guy with the truck. You could make an argument that maybe, it was all like the concrete's kind of tan colored. When there's sand everywhere, it's kind of tan colored. You might not make out like where the concrete begins, where the grass starts. We might be able to see that. But this, you made someone mad, dude. I mean, this was because they turned right and then left. This was definitely intentional. They knew how to hurt you. And then another case where I don't understand people just go driving up and park it on someone's lawn. I mean, this is disrespect on such a high level. Such a high level. I mean, parks, you got, anyway, I can't make me mad looking at it. So yeah, in your case, Oliver, given the history the struggle that your lawn has had, your lawn's been on the struggle bus, you probably will want some signage, maybe some yellow tape, some hazard tape. It's Halloween, so that'll be kind of your decoration theme, right? Put some rods in, put some like hazard tape, caution tape, like do not enter. Because I will tell you, this time of year, if you have a truck drive over that, it's not going to come back. You don't have time to really get it fixed. So just something to consider. Just a thought. Just a thought. All right, next up is Jay Ambrose. He says, what will be the best type of grass to use for a football pitch in Lagos, Nigeria? I do not know. I don't know what kind of grasses are native to Lagos. I imagine Bermuda would probably grow well there, but I don't know. I don't know. I would think Bermuda. I mean, as far as like a high wear grass that does well in hot climates like Nigeria, then it should be like Bermuda would be a good choice. But I'm sure there's probably some native grasses there that would work well. So I would look into Bermuda and see if that's an option, or just if there's any football pitches in your area, see what they are using. You're going to want something that tolerates wear well, that's relatively drought resistant. So you're not having to put it, spend too much money keeping it, putting much water on it. And Bermuda checks a lot of those boxes. Relatively disease resistant. That would be my choice for a lawn, for a turf grass that's going to be used. Bermuda would be what I would tell you to go with. All right. All right, next up is Bennett Off-Road. Says, what up, Ron? What's going on, Bennett Off-Road? Hopefully you're doing all right. Thanks for stopping by to say hello. And then Michael Coulthard says, check, we'll do that, but we'll not scalp in spring. Okay. I guess that can work. If that's what you want to do, that would be fine. All right. The lawn mechanic says, "Hey Ron, lucky you have sand. I would have a lump of clay." Yeah, you guys want to see the soil profile? I think I've got a close-up picture here of it. Yeah, it's right there. So you can see the first 2-3 inches there, maybe 4 in some spots, is that nice, rich, juicy topsoil. That is the super sod, their compost, along with a lot of carbonized PN G that's been put over the lawn over the entire season. And then you see as it kind of steps down the different levels, different bands of different types of soil that that's in my lawn. But overall not bad. What was kind of cool is they didn't pull out any massive rocks. I was totally thinking they're going to find some massive rocks as they got down deep. Nope, not really. No rocks, no big rocks. And then next up is Ebony 281. He says, "Your front yard, will you have to top dress now or wait till spring?" I'll probably wait till spring. I mean, if I did a light, like a light dusting, it might be okay, but I'd probably just wait till springtime, man. I mean, I'll just mow it and just see how it grows in and recovers. But what this means is now next year I got to top dress it again, right? So there's that. So next year I'll just plan for a top dress for next springtime. Come figure, probably get done a little bit early. You know what? Next year I might play with. You know, a lot of you guys always ask, you know, how early in the season can I top dress my lawn? And I normally tell folks, late April, early May, great time. Lawn, if you have a warm season lawn, especially, it's growing more aggressively. Then it'll grow through it faster. But for next year, we'll see. I'll play with it. Well, I may try for, like, say, early April, like late March, early April, which is earlier than I have ever done it. Just to see. Why not? Right? It'll be something new. Be some fun content for you guys to take a look at. All right. Next up is Michael Coulthard says, "Does that mean 1.5 inches, not 1 inch?" Yeah. So if it were me, Michael, if you're at 2 inches now and your goal is 1 inch, if it were me, I would go from 2 inches to 1.5 inches and just call it good until you get closer to springtime. Then if assuming your lawn will tolerate it, if you want to go and take the next 1/2 inch off where you can go down to 1 inch without scalping, without, like, when I say scalping, without you getting like into the dirt, then you can do it then. That would be my my recommendation, because when you do it closer to to springtime when it's hot, like, you're gonna get more material out. It's just gonna you're gonna, as far as the goal of scalping, one of the things that scalping does, which is allowing more heat and sunlight to get to the soil to help the lawn to come out of dormancy a bit faster. Like, you're going to be better off if in other words, if it were me, given the choice between taking a lawn down to, say, 1 inch now or taking a lawn down to 1 inch in, like, late February, early March, I would pick the latter, because even though Bermuda grows it's pretty much dormant. It's pretty much not growing very much at all. Just as far as just cleaning out any debris and just trash that's in the lawn that over the fall and winter months, like, it's good to do that closer to the growing season than at this point, like 4 or 5 months before. So for that reason, if it were me, I would wait. I would break it up into 2. You can consider this like your pre-scalp, and then you can do your last one in, like, late February, early March. All right. Don Vasquez is up next. He says, "Hey Ron, sorry they had to dig in your yard for those utilities. Hopefully they didn't hit irrigation. Just want to get your thoughts on overseeding Xeon zoysia with annual rye. Is that an okay thing to do?" 1 second. All right. So Don has a question. He says, "They didn't hit your irrigation?" No, they didn't hit my irrigation because before they put a single shovel in, I went out there early this morning and I was like, guys, right here, like, I have an irrigation head here, the pipe, like, I'll actually, I'm talking about this, but it's easier to show. There's a pipe. Okay. So you see, okay. So if you look, I'm standing on the driveway. Like, if you imagine a 1 foot, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe not 1 foot, maybe 8 inches in from the driveway, there is a pipe. And you know what? It's probably easier to show this with the irrigation running. You see this irrigation that's running right now at the top? There's a pipe that runs like 6 to 8 inches along the driveway underneath the soil, obviously, that runs right there, that also feeds the vanity strip. So when I went out this morning for the last little pep talk, is I pointed to this section and said, hey guys, don't, I know you guys want to get closer to the driveway, but if you guys don't mind, let me pause really quick. Like right there, you can see that they cut it in about a foot, maybe 14 inches away from the driveway, to that way they reduce the chances of getting anywhere near that irrigation pipe. So it was not without work on my part to make sure that didn't happen. Your question, the rest of your question was, overseeding zoysia? No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Couple things too. Zoysia is going to stay greener for longer. Like my Bermuda grass is largely checked out. Like if there's parts of it that are more dormant, there's still some patches of green here and there. But I mean, this picture of the zoysia was literally from this morning. So we're in October going into November, and it's holding on to its color like way better than Bermuda has. So, if it were me, I personally would not. No, I wouldn't. Plus, also, if you really want to get a good result with overseeding, you're going to want to scalp the lawn low or thin it out. Do something to kind of thin the lawn out so the ryegrass can really grow in. And then come springtime, you're going to have to get rid of it using herbicides. And then given that zoysia is just, again, it's a slower growing grass. It does everything in its sweet time. For me, I just really wouldn't. If you got zoysia, I would enjoy the fact that it's going to stay green longer. And just when it goes dormant, just let it go dormant. And then when springtime rolls around, it'll be green. It'll look great. I personally would not overseed it with ryegrass. Bermuda, sure. Bermuda grows a lot more aggressively. If there's any kind of damage, it's going to recover from it much faster. Zoysia does neither of those things. So for that reason, I personally would just try and tell you to stay away from overseeding your zoysia with perennial ryegrass. I personally would not. Okay. Next up, we have Michael Coulthard says, will likely go lower after top dressing and leveling the lawn. Cool. Yeah. I mean, once you've top dressed, then the world is your oyster, right? You can go out and do whatever you want to do. I still think that 3/4 of an inch personally is a sensible height. If you really want to be a boss and say, hey, I want to get it even tighter, you could start at like 5/8. So like, what is that? 0.62 inches. Which, believe it or not, like visually there is a difference. Like you can visually see a difference between a lawn that's at like 0.625 inches and at 5/8 and one that's at 3/4 of an inch. Like it's just gonna look a little bit tighter. So you could go there and run it there for the first part of the season. And then when you get into the hotter time of the year and the mowing's a bit more difficult to keep up with, call it like end of May, early June, you could bump it up to 3/4 of an inch and just let it ride there throughout the rest of the year, Michael. That is what I would do if you really want to, you want to go super low and then kind of step up to a more reasonable height while maintaining color, not, mowing so short that real mowing ruins your life. Then that is what I would say to go with. All right. All right. Golf Junkie says, so happy it's Thursday. Have a great night. Still no snow and none of the forecast. So the mowing continues. Awesome. Love to hear it. Love to hear it, Golf Junkie. And next up is Ebony Man 281. He says, are there any pros, cons to top dressing in the fall? I'd rather do it in this cooler weather. Depends on the kind of grass you have. If you have a cool season lawn and you're going to be sensible about how heavy you go, yeah, you can top dress in the fall. There's not really an issue with that. If you have a warm season lawn like Bermuda or zoysia, and you are in a part of the country where it gets cool enough that the lawn goes dormant, meaning that the rate of growth practically goes to not quite zero, but goes to practically nothing, then I'm not a huge fan of top dressing. Definitely not in October. If you really want to do it, like August is the latest that I would consider top dressing warm season lawn based on where I'm in the country. Now, if you're further south, like if you're near the Gulf Coast or if you're in Florida, sure, you can probably get away with top dressing later on in the season. But here in Georgia, it's getting cooler now, and if you go out and you top dress and you went a little bit heavy, like it's unlikely the lawn will grow through it before it goes fully dormant. So I would say no. Given the choice, Ebony Man, given the choice of top dressing now or top dressing a bit early. So say you roll on around to springtime, right? And you said, I want to do it when it's a bit cooler, like March timeframe. Like I'd be more on board with top dressing a warm season lawn in say March than I would by doing it in October, because the coldest part of the winter or the cool weather is behind you and you're on a warming trend. Whereas this time of year, the cold weather is ahead of you, which is what you don't want really with a warm season lawn, where you're going to be stressing it mildly by top dressing it. All right. So for that reason, I personally wouldn't. If you want to wait, just do it. Early spring. Again, March time frame, if you really want to try and push it and get out there when it's cooler. But I'll tell you, man, even like in April, even early May, it's really not that bad. It's not till you start getting into late May, June that it gets really hot and it becomes unpleasant to be out there. But if that's not you, if that's too much, then you could consider doing it a bit earlier. That would be my recommendation. Doing a bit earlier in the spring versus late in the fall, assuming it's a warm season lawn. All right, Don Vasquez says, the reason I'm asking is because I still have quite a bit of traffic from the kids and the dogs over certain areas. What are you asking? Your question was around what? So digging about irrigation. I don't see your original question, Don. I'm trying to find it. What it was that you were asking about. Yeah, so you're asking, no, that's, or overseeding. Yeah, overseeding with, no, I wouldn't do that. I still wouldn't. So you're saying, can I overseed my Xeon because you have a lot of foot traffic from dogs and kids? Personally, no, I still wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I would not. Your call, but I would. All right, next up is Landon Millet says, my Bermuda is super sod, still beautiful color. Is that because I just laid the sod out about 2 months ago? It could be some of that. And also could, if it's Tiff Tough, which I think is what super sods, the one that the main sod they sell other ones. I think that's mainly their variety. It does have better cold tolerance. It does come out of dormancy sooner, and it goes dormant later than, say, like a Tifway 419. So that could be some of what you're seeing as far as the fact that it's still holding its color, Landon. Also depends where you are in the country. If you are in, South Georgia, South Texas, somewhere on the Gulf Coast, somewhere where it's hotter, then yeah, it's not surprising that your Bermuda would still look good. Like, again, this is Robert's lawn. He is in the Southeast, and this is overseeded with ryegrass, but according to him, there's more Bermuda here as far as what you're seeing for color than rye, which I agree with. If you look at the color, like, this looks more like Bermuda grass than it does ryegrass. Like, ryegrass has a different. Oh, I have a picture of his lawn when it was all ryegrassed up. Let me see here. This is that's Bermuda. Rye has like a it's like a shinier look to it. Yeah, so that looks more like ryegrass to me. Yeah, compared to Bermuda, like that, Bermuda is just slightly different color. So yeah, so that's the first cut after you overseeded it. Yeah, that's ryegrass. And this, to me, if you didn't tell me this was October, if you told me this was like in June, I would totally believe it. Because that looks more like Bermuda to me than just ryegrass. Ryegrass has, again, has like a shininess to it that Bermuda doesn't have. Like, the leaf is just shinier in color than Bermuda. Bermuda's more beautiful color, but just more muted, more flat, like more flat green, versus like an emerald kind of green. Like, zoysia's kind of the same way. Zoysia's kind of probably in between ryegrass and Bermuda. Zoysia also is it shines more than Bermuda does. Not, I mean, I'm probably using the wrong word to say it, but like, just the leaf is like a brighter in color than it is than like Bermuda. He said, I'm in Nashville, by the way. Cool, dude, that's crazy. You're further north than I am, and you're still holding on to its color. That's good. That's awesome. We'll see. Next year we'll know, right? So next year in the spring, because it is going to go dormant eventually. Next year in the spring, we'll see if it comes out of dormancy before your neighbors, and then next fall we'll see if it's the same thing. If you're like in late October and it's still looking great. So time will tell. It always does. All right, Jeffrey Unger's up next. His height of cut is 1 1/4 inch with a rotary mower. Thinking of getting a Revolution 26 and height of cut just under 1 inch. Some leveling done. Opinion on how level it needs to be for a height of cut around 1 inch. I mean, it needs to be level enough that ideally no. I mean, it's such a subjective question. it needs to be high. It needs to be level enough that a reel mower is not, you don't have sections of it that are so uneven that the reel is going to tip and cause it to scalp. I mean, mowing at 1 inch with a reel mower is not difficult to pull off. Like, it really shouldn't take a much leveling to be able to do that. In other words, if you're able to cut that lawn at, say, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches with a rotary mower, I would not be surprised if you're able to get it down to 1 inch with a reel mower, because reel mowers also are less prone to scalping if you have one that has a rear drum and a front roller. Just to do the physics of how it works, just less likely to scalp. Like, if you look at an example, let's say this is my reel mower. I know it's not a great example of a reel mower. Or say this is a rotary mower, right? With a rotary mower, you got this big swinging machete on the bottom of it, right? You got a wheel here, 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 here. So each of the corners, which makes it very sensitive to any uneven turf. So if this front wheel, as we're going along mowing our grass, goes into a little dip, like, the entire disc tips and it will take a chunk of grass out, right? It's going to scalp your lawn. With a reel mower, because you've got a rear drum along the back and a rear drum along, or a front roller along the front, like, the weight is distributed over a wider area, both front and rear. So let's say the same example, we've got like this maybe 2-3 inch section here that's lower than the rest of it. Like, you still got the rest of the mower, like, say, again, do it this way, say 2-3 inch section, like right here, that's lower. You still have the rear drum and you've got the rest of the front roller supporting the weight of the mower. So will it dip maybe a little bit? Maybe just a skosh, maybe just a touch, but not anything like what a rotary mower will do. So generally speaking, not always, but in general, you're able to go a little bit lower on your heights of cut with a reel mower. Again, assuming you have a, it's got a front roller and a rear drum, than you can with rotary mowers. So should be okay. If you're at 1.25 inches with a rotary mower, 1 inch with a reel mower should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Should not be a problem at all. All right, it's me 2017 says hello. What's going on? And he says, it's late in the season and beautiful Bermuda has slowly been getting invaded by my neighbor St. Augustine. That's not good. What can I do? And should I care since it's going to sleep soon? I am in Dallas. I mean, if you don't want St. Augustine growing in your Bermuda, you can use a selective herbicide like quinclorac. Like, just use a herbicide that has the active ingredient quinclorac in it to get rid of the St. Augustine. But you're gonna have to be very careful. So if your lawn and your neighbor's lawn touch each other, like, wherever you spray this quinclorac, it's gonna kill the St. Augustine. But you got to be really careful because you don't want to damage his lawn also in the process. So it's really your call. You can just let it be, or if you're going to spray a herbicide, with the active ingredient quinclorac in it, will do the trick. So if we search for like crabgrass, because again, they're kind of related, either one of these, Drive Accelerator, Quintessential, either one of these guys, if you spray a St. Augustine with it, will control it. So that would be my recommendation if you're looking to control St. Augustine that's coming into your lawn without damaging your Bermuda. But again, be careful because you don't want to damage your neighbor's lawn when you do this. All right. So I hope that helps. It's me. And if you're looking for a link where you can find it, there you go. Okay. Next up is Landon Millet. He says, also, since I just laid sod about 2 months ago, should I put any pre-emergent down for the winter, or is it still too new? And yeah, it's tough. It's really your call. So in general, even with Bermuda grass, just to be conservative, I'd say 90 days. So 3 months is when I would wait before I did any kind of pre-emergent. If the lawn is largely established, meaning like you can't even tell that it was sodded, like it's all grown in and it's living its best life and you're mowing it and everything. And if you want to do pre-emergent, you could, but really, in general, I tell folks 3 months, wait 90 days with a warm season lawn. It's just to be ultra conservative that you're not going to run into any issues. So if you wanted to do pre-emergent this fall, you could wait till like next month, middle to end of next month is when you could go about doing that, and you're probably going to be just fine. But again, look at how the lawn looks. If you said it looks beautiful, so I imagine it's grown in. You can't even tell it was recently sodded. You're mowing it, and it looks great. In that case, pre-emergent would be fine, but give it 90 days. Again, this is just being super conservative. There's just people that'll tell you you can put pre-emergent on Bermuda grass like after a month if you wanted to. But I'm just, again, just you spend a lot of money on the lawn. If you get a little bit heavy-handed with the application, you don't want to take a chance of doing anything that's gonna injure the roots. So 90 days is what I would give it. All right. You are very welcome, Jeffrey Unger. And you know what's a good question, Landon? I think we'll save it. We'll see if we can turn that into a short, because I'm sure other folks are going to have this question. They'll say, hey, man, I just got a brand new lawn, and I heard about this thing called pre-emergent, that it's magical and it helps keep weeds away. Can I go ahead and spray it on my brand new lawn? Will it be fine? And then I can reference this. I can say, hey, Landon asked that question. Look at the response. And you'd be internet famous, which, let's face it, is the most kind of best kind of famous to be, right? All right, next up is oh wow, it's getting a little bit ugly here. Ismi says, no, his dirty St. Augustine is showing in the middle of my Bermuda. Oh, okay. So, I mean, first of all, there's no need for the name calling. I mean, you have St. Augustine in your lawn. I get it. You don't like it, but there's no need for the name calling. I mean, all grass needs to be loved. So if it's in the middle of your lawn, then yeah, then I think you are well within your rights to use quinclorac to knock it out. So yeah, quintessential or drive accelerate, either one of those would be a good option. And yes, and again, still do not spray on his lawn. Like, don't manage the overspray. Like if your lawns touch each other, which it kind of sounds like they do, like get a piece of cardboard, have some kind of a barrier that whenever you're spraying along like your property line, that you're not going to have a bunch of overspray to get into his lawn and damage it. Like you don't want his lawn being all splotchy and ugly because you're trying to get rid of the St. Augustine. Even though I know it's, your words is dirty St. Augustine grass. He still loves the St. Augustine, and it matters to him. So don't get out there and do anything to hurt it. And he said, will this product not harm my Bermuda? It will not harm your Bermuda. Quinclorac is very well tolerated very well by Bermuda grass. Yes, you can use quinclorac on like, what do you not want to use it on? It's probably easier to say that. Like that product can be used on cool and warm season grasses. Like your ryegrass, your fescue, your Kentucky bluegrass, Bermuda grass, zoysia grass. They'll all tolerate it really well. The grasses that you cannot or you should not use quinclorac on, I mean, can't is really, you shouldn't if you care about the grass, is you don't want to spray it on centipede lawns. You don't want to spray it on St. Augustine lawns. And bent grass also you want to be careful with, and fine fescue can be sensitive to it. But outside of that, like the main staples, like in your Bermuda grass, your ryegrass, Kentucky bluegrass, like most of them, like the most common ones, it's just fine. It'll tolerate it just fine. All right. So it's a great way to, even though it's labeled to control crabgrass, I want to say it's not really an off-label use, but a way it's commonly used is for the purposes of controlling centipede or St. Augustine in a Bermuda lawn. All right. Okay, next up is Rohan Guar. He says, I put Prodiamine 65 WDG, 12 grams per 1,000 square feet. Shall I be doing another round in December or January? Let me see here. Let me break out a calculator. See, grams, 2 ounces. I don't know what kind of, this question is difficult to answer without knowing what kind of grass you have. So you did 12 grams per 1,000. I'm hoping you have warm season grass, because that works out to about 0.4 of an ounce, so 0.42 ounces to be exact, which is about half rate for warm season grasses like your Bermuda and zoysia grasses. So if that's you, so you did that rate, which is 0.42 ounces or 12 grams per 1,000 square feet on a warm season lawn like Bermuda or zoysia, then yes, you still have another 0.4 thereabouts to be able to spray in December, January, if you so desire. All right. But I'm answering this question assuming that you have it's a warm season lawn. If you have a cool season lawn, then that's heavy. That's most cool season folks, when they do split outs with prodiamine, they'll do like 0.2 of an ounce. Most people don't spray it that heavy in one go. So the way I'm given the rate you're using, I'm assuming you have a warm season lawn. So yes, you can do it now, and then you got one more app. And then in the springtime, you rotate to something else like dithiopyr, like Dimension. All right. Okay. You said, I'm in Atlanta. Cool. So you got It sounds like warm season lawn. So Bermuda grass. Yes. So yeah, you're good to go. Now and then again in January at this point. Again, it would have been better would have been to do it like in late August, early September, but then we're here now and time machines aren't a thing yet. So January, late December, January it is. Okay. Next up we have Brian Howell. He says, "Good evening, Ron. Just got a mow in. Good job. I'd like to hear that. And there weren't much clippings coming on after 2 weeks. I guess I can stop applying PGR. The weather finally cooled off in Dallas, Fort Worth." Yep. Sounds like a plan. Next up is Cedric Garth. Says, "Ron, what is the best Bermuda seed for cold season, for cold weather and high traffic?" There isn't one really. I mean, Bermuda grass, like all Bermuda grasses, are going to go dormant when it gets cold. Like that's just a characteristic of the grass type. Like it lives its best life between, again, if you're in Georgia, between like March until like October, early November-ish, depending on where you are in the country, right? But I mean, that's when it grows. There's not really a Bermuda grass that is green year round. That's just not really a thing. That's why they overseed it, or folks that want their lawn to be green all year round, they will overseed it with like perennial ryegrass. However, that is not, there's no free lunch with doing that. If you decide you're going to overseed with perennial ryegrass, you have to be prepared that when springtime rolls around, that you're going to get rid of the ryegrass. Otherwise, Bermuda is going to have trouble coming out of dormancy. So it's not going to establish as well next year. So it's really your call. There's not really a Bermuda grass seed that you would overseed with, but if you want your lawn to be green all winter long, then perennial ryegrass is what you would use. But again, a couple of things. Realize that if you do that, you're going to be mowing over the winter, which may or may not be fun to you, would not be fun for me. And then in the springtime, you are also going to have to get rid of it if you want the Bermuda to really come out of dormancy and do well next growing season. All right, Cedric? So hope that helps, sir. That's a good question as far as Bermuda grass and overseeding it in the wintertime. All right. Next up we have Rohan. He says, "I got it in early October when it was touching 72 to 75 degrees soil temp." Cool. I like it. That works. All right. Next up we have Cedric. He says, oh wait, I missed some people. Wow. How did I get all the way down here? Next up is Mizan. He says, "Will you ever make a video on how to take care of our small trees?" I don't really have any. I got like one tree that's growing in my lawn and it's taking its sweet time to grow. So I mean, I'm not an arborist. I'm not the guy to reach out to about, about how to make your trees live great, because trees and grass generally they tend to have awesome, beautiful, like large trees tend to have really crappy grass underneath or within the area of said large trees. And because I'm kind of the grass guy, I can't give you a whole lot about taking care of trees. I'll give you some advice. I mean, I'm being kind of ridiculous. And I'll give you this tip: if you want your grass to look nice, you want to encourage the tree to grow, to have the canopy to top it, to have the canopy grow as high up as possible. Meaning that if this screwdriver is a tree, I know it's a terrible example of a tree, and let's say this is the roots. Let's do it this way. This is the base and this is the top. Like if it can start growing leaves here, branches here, not as good as you encouraging it to grow here. And the way you can do that is you prune it. You just, you cut off ones that are coming in lower to encourage shoots to come up here. Because you're doing that, any grass that grows around here is going to have a better chance of getting direct sunlight. So it's going to do better. So I'd say if you care about getting your grass to look nice around a tree, get the canopy to be up as high as possible. It's still ultimately going to be a losing battle given enough time, but at least then your grass, especially with Bermuda grass. But it's that's something you can do. But outside of that, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else for you, unfortunately, my son. Apologies. Rohan says, "Is Bermuda and zoysia in Atlanta?" Yes, if you have Bermuda and zoysia, let the Bermuda go dormant. The zoysia should stay green longer than the Bermuda, and then when it eventually goes dormant, just relax and do a whole lot of nothing until springtime. And you said, should I do 3 rounds or 2? If at the rate that you're applying it, 2. because the annual limit for prodiamine on warm season grass like Bermuda and zoysia is 0.83 ounces. Given that you've sprayed a rate of 12 grams per thousand, which is 0.4, call it 0.4 ounces, you've used about half the limit, half your annual allocation. So if you're going to spray two more, which again I really wouldn't recommend, then you're going to have to make sure that the total amount of active ingredient that you're putting down with the 2 remaining sprays you do does not exceed 0.4 ounces. So, and this sounds like a lot of work for not a whole lot of benefits. So for me, you've already applied it. The first app a couple of weeks ago or in early October. Do your next app in October, November, December. Yeah, so your next app in late December, and then you're good. That application is going to cover you all the way into like March whenever you put out pre-emergent, and at that point, go to something like Dimension, like dithiopyr. All right, so something like this, All right, like this would be a good option for your spring pre-emergent if you've used prodiamine. You use the entire limit of prodiamine for your fall apps. Okay, that is what I would go with, Rohan, if it were me in the springtime, based on what you are doing this fall. All righty. All right, next up is JD. He says, utility company dug up our neighborhood as well to lay fiber conduit. What is the best strategy to get my hybrid Bermuda sod to root fully before dormancy? I'm in Douglasville, Georgia. Thanks, Ron. Time, man. Just time. There's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, I would not tell you to go out there and heavily fertilize it. I would say mow it. Roll it, mow it. That's going to encourage new growth. And then they did it at a time of the year when it's not, when Bermuda is not growing very fast. So the good news is this, Jay. Even if it's not fully recovered, next year it'll be fine. I mean, Bermuda grass is incredibly difficult to kill, even when you want to get rid of it. The utility company digging up some sod and then putting it down, even if they did like a not great job, it's not going to do any kind of permanent damage. It'll be just fine. So, anything you're going to do outside of mowing and maybe light fertilization, like again, what I would say this time of year, like a 12-0-24 would be a good option. Outside of that, you're more likely to create other problems for yourself. So just mow it, roll it, try and get as good contact, like the sod they cut up, make sure it's pressed into the soil so it's touching the soil as good as possible, and then just let it do its thing. This is not a great time of year to try and encourage Bermuda grass to do anything fast, because it's just too cool. Okay, next up is Cedric Garces. What is a good verticutter? I don't know, dude. There's not really one I can recommend. Like, I have one on my Owlet. There's not any other ones that I have any direct experience with that are really that are great. Like, you can use a slit seeder to verticut, but it makes a big mess because because it's really a slit seeder. There's not really a bagging attachment or anything that's on it. So you end up having to go over the entire lawn, and then you have to go over the entire lawn to get all the crap up. Like, you have to go and rake it and get all that stuff up, which is a lot of work. So there's not really one at this point that I can recommend, Cedric, unfortunately. All right. What up, no fam? It says, what's up, Ron? This is your friendly, hip lawn care man from Detroit. Have you tried the new Chick-fil-A cherry berry with a Sunjoy? I did. I tried it. I did try it for lunch one day, and it's here's the thing. I am not a huge Arnold Palmer guy. It's a really good one. What I should have tried, though, is I should have done the pineapple dragon fruit Sunjoy, because that, to me, like Chick-fil-A, if anyone from Chick-fil-A is watching this, like the cherry berry it's okay, but man, the pineapple dragon fruit it's like that needs to go and stay on the menu. I know y'all like to do the seasonal thing, but like cherry berry is not a good follow-up to the pineapple dragon fruit. I'm just putting it out there for someone who's on a first name basis with a lot of folks at my local Chick-fil-A. I have voiced this to them as well. They said, hey, nothing we can do about it. Again, the Sunjoy, it's okay. It's okay. I did not have the dragon fruit, the pineapple dragon fruit one, though, which I think would have been even better, because I like I like the pineapple dragon fruit lemonade more than I do the cherry berry. The cherry berry, I mean, it's good. It tastes kind of I mean, I don't want to. It sounds almost sacrilege. It's almost like sacrilegious to say this, but it kind of reminds me. It's kind of Robitussin-y, kind of like cough syrup. It's not now. That's harsh. That's being harsh because it's not cough syrup, obviously, but it's not. It's just not a good follow-up. You know what? It would have been great if pineapple dragon fruit had never existed. But you know what? We live in a world where it existed, and it existed all throughout spring, most of summer, and then they followed it up with, which is obviously a bench warmer. Like I'm sure they got like a whole bench of like different flavors they're gonna try out and bring out, and they led with the starter, and then the bench warmer he could not carry the ball, couldn't carry the ball, could not carry the ball. So yeah, whatever. Hopefully they bring it back next year. Hopefully they bring it back and it becomes like on the menu all the time. Like I think that would be good because most people that I ask about the pineapple dragon fruit, they're all like, yeah, dude, this stuff is awesome. Like all aspects of it were good. Like I haven't tried the Sunjoy, but I had the milkshake. Like I think they call it with the not the frosty, but what do they call it? It's like their version of like a frosted lemonade with the frosted pineapple dragon fruit. Oh, also spectacular. I mean, the lemonade, the drink itself was great, but the frosted, also really good. I didn't even try the cherry berry frosted. I mean, like why? I've had the pineapple dragon fruit. All right. Anyway, with all that said, guys and gals, looks like that's all the questions that we have for tonight. I knew it would be a slow night, but I still appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me for a little bit on a Thursday night. So on that bombshell, we will cue the outro music. We'll be back on our normally scheduled time next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys will notice a pinned comment on the live stream. Our survey is still open. If you want to have a chance of saving 5% on an order, you can only use it one time and also provide some feedback to help us shape some products that we were developing for next year that some of you guys have asked for. Feel free to fill it out. So it's going to be the pinned comment if you're on YouTube, and it's your pinned comment if you're in the chat, and then if you're on YouTube watching the show after the fact, it'll be the pinned comment at the top that you can take a look at. So we'd really love to hear from you guys. We want to make sure we build something that we think you guys are going to like. Again, appreciate you guys as always for all of your lawn care needs, your fertilization, pre-emergent fungicide, insecticide, all the accoutrement you'll need to create a lawn that your neighbors are absolutely going to envy. Give us a look here at the Golf Course Lawn Store. We really love the opportunity to earn your business. Until next week, hopefully your team wins this weekend, and I will see you guys next Friday. Take care.